Disturbed.
Yeah.
Get fucking Disturbed. It's their 6th album. Immortalized. I don't even think that's how it goes, but
Nope.
how it is in my head.
Fuck it.
So, yeah, Disturbed went away after 2010's Asylum, and like, fuck it, we can't do it anymore. Came back,
Maybe so.
2015. Yeah, they've now put out their newest album. I'll be honest with you, I went to this with a wide open fucking mind. And it quickly shut. Which I'll further explain later. What did you think?
But I'll go off and I'll say this. I'll be a little bit of a nice guy to start off with. This album, songwriting wise, maybe isn't necessarily bad. Necessarily. It's just, looking at songs individually, I could see maybe how somebody could say, you know what? Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? Like one song and be like, listening to just the Vengeful One, you could be like, that's a good song. But then like listening to this album, song after song after song, you get the feeling that I get from this album, which is that it's forgetful. It really is. It's forgettable. It falls into so many of the cliches that I feel happen with all of these rock metal bands, if you want to call them that, which is like, first off, the songwriting to me is so uninspired. It's just there, you think maybe they'll do something different. Nope. If you've heard a Disturbed song before, you can just about guess how every single one of these songs is gonna go. The songwriting, like, even like the lyrics, to me, they're not, cool. I like, I'm not the biggest fan of Disturbed, but I like older Disturbed. I like, the song Matter of, like, Down with the Sickness, Stricken. Those songs are cool. They have cool song ideas, whereas this album has a song about fucking smoking weed. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, it's trying too hard to be popular, which, to me is almost always a bad thing with a lot of bands. It's brought a lot of good albums that could have been good down. Another thing is the production, like, and it hurts this album even a little bit more. I think it's the song "What Are You Doing," where there's a riff in the song, and if the production was right, that would sound like a pretty good riff. I'm like, okay, that's a cool riff, but because they have this fucking toned down sound quality where they're trying to appeal to like the radio and shit, the riff sounds like shit then, because it doesn't have nothing behind it. It just makes it sound bad. And that's like what happens a lot on this album, in my opinion. Where like there's maybe like one every couple songs, like, oh, that's an okay like riff, and that's cool. And then again, because of the sound quality, it's brought down a lot. David Draymond, I don't like his vocals on this album. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the way he sounds on this album. Like, one thing that, especially, that I appreciate about him is that he's got, he can be gruff, and then he can be melodic. And usually there's some semblance of difference when that happens, where it's like he's always gruff on this album. And it makes all the vocals sound the same. Like, the first track, which is, what's the name of the first track?
Immortalized.
Is it Immortalized? Okay, well, Immortalized, I think, or it might be one of the other songs where it sounds like, the vocal pattern sounds like Stricken. I was like, wow, this sounds just like a song, like literally like how I say that this album sounds like Disturbed. That's what I mean. That literally sounds exactly the same as the verse from Stricken. And I'm like, you've already written this. What the hell is this shit? Like, I don't know. This album was just disappointing the whole way through. I did not go in with an open mind. I did not expect much from this album, and I
didn't expect much.
I was again, to pull back a quote that I used a long time ago. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I was just whelmed.
I went in with an open mind being that, oh, it's, I just wasn't, oh, it's Disturbed. Fuck this shit. I was going to actually try to, appreciate it for what it is, and it's just hard to do that because it's fucking Disturbed, man. It's like, after To the Asylum, this band was clearly just running very low on ideas and creativity. So going away was the best thing that could have happened to them. And then you're like, cool. And you know what? I fucking forgot Disturbed even existed. If you would have asked me 6 months ago about Disturbed, I would have been like, oh yeah, I forgot they're not around anymore. And then they come back, and it's like, most bands, when they go away, for the most part, they come back rejuvenated. They write some of the best stuff that they've done because they haven't done it in a while. They haven't been on that fucking grind. And this is like probably the worst Disturbed album, I would say. I mean, Disturbed's career started off at the peak, and then it's just been downhill with like every fucking album, basically. I'm with Keith, too. I don't like how David Draymond sounds on here. He sounds so...
like forced. It sounds forced. Like,
yeah, and it just sounds so... David Draymond. And when they try to do things, such as in Fire It Up during the verses, it just doesn't work, because now you're trying to sound like Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch, and that's not a good thing. And it's just like, when this band tries every now and again to maybe do something different, it just doesn't work, and it just falls flat on its fucking face. And the album probably starts off up here, and after song after song after song, you just don't want to fucking listen to it anymore. You're like, every time I've listened to this album, I'm like, I can't fucking do this. Like, I'm wasting my time, because it just, the songwriting is, like he said, so uninspired and so flat, and their sound is so flat. Disturbed, like Five Finger Death Punch, like Avenged Sevenfold, like, I don't know, Hell Yeah, Miss May I could go on and on, could be so much better than what they are. So much better. They have the talent, they just don't fucking use it. They refuse to use it because they just want to sell albums and sell tickets to their shows. And so they can play the same old shit and then write more of the same old shit and repeat. It's not going to change with this band at all. And I was hoping that maybe it would, because Disturbed could be a good band, but they refuse to fucking just evolve.
One of the things that I forgot, which is one of the cliches of rock and metal, which is whenever like I listen to like a lot of rock albums, I get the feeling that they spend a lot of time writing the singles.
Yeah.
And then the other songs are kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like they put all their creativity in that. So it's like the Vengeful One is like a highlight of this album. But I use that word very loosely, of a highlight, because that's still not that good. But like that's probably, I mean, no, not probably, that is one of the better songs from this album. And even then, that song is okay.
Yeah.
At best.
And I 100% agree with the sound too. And I've always thought Disturbed sound like it just gets more and more dull as time goes on, and there's just no balls in their sound. There's no balls in their songwriting. There's nothing. You fucking punch a hole in the fucking Disturbed, and there's nothing inside. I mean, it just.
Would you say they're dead inside?
Yeah. It's just. Yeah. Fire It Up is an atrocious fucking song. And you would think that dudes that are probably in their 30s or 40s by now would be a little bit more mature and not write a song about smoking fucking weed. Some of the other songs, like Who and like Who the fuck are you?
Your
like,
mind pisses me off.
The chorus, I think when it comes to just completely uninspired songwriting, the chorus of Open Your Eyes just drives me fucking nuts, because you get to the chorus and it's like, whoa, and then he goes, open your eyes, and it's like, and then they just repeat it over and over and over again. It's like, dude, you could have done something here, but you don't. You just refuse to, and it's just, let's just put this song out on the radio. Fuck it. I don't know, man. This is a band. Most bands, when they go away, you get sad, and then when they come back, you're kind of happy. This band, when they went away, you got happy, and when they come back, you get sad because you get the same fucking bullshit, and it's not going to change. 10 albums later from Disturbed, they'll be still writing the same fucking bullshit. David Draymond will still be going with every fucking chorus. They'll still have no balls behind their guitar work. And it'll just be fucking shitty. What are you waiting for?
I don't
Give me a score.
Give you a score? I'll give this album a... This is really hard. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I really didn't like this album. I really didn't like this album. So I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, 4 out of 10 sounds good. Most of those points just come from effort. But that effort is lacking.
Yeah. That's actually the number of times I actually put effort on this album. It's 4.
Yeah. Disturbed 2 announced a headlining tour of spring next year. And they're playing in like small clubs now. Which I don't know if they are doing that because they have to, or doing that because they couldn't put a tour together to be able to play in an arena like they used to, or doing that just to be more intimate, I guess. Get intimate with Disturbed. But I find that interesting. You want to see them if they're at the soundstage.
How much are you going to pay me to go?
Tickets are like $40.
Ah, fuck that. Actually, the plane was already going down when you brought it up, but then it actually went backwards going down to that point, so.
Oh! Go listen to Disturbed.
I don't. Don't.